श्रीन्यासदशकम्। श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्ताम् सदा हृदि। अकृत्यानाम् च करणम् कृत्यानाम् वर्जनम् च मे क्षमस्व निखिलम् देव प्रणतार्तिहर प्रभो।
श्रीमान वेंकटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदांताचार्यवर्यो में सन्निधत्ताम् सदा हृदि. Again, as usual, the first verse, aham madrakshana bharo madrakshana phalam tatha namamasti paterevet atmanam nikshipet buddha. Twice again, aham madrakshana bharo madrakshana phalam tatha namamasti paterevet atmanam nikshipet buddha. So there were discussions earlier about what will happen if a person after the total surrender, namely prapatti or saranagati, happens to commit sins by doing some unwanted actions, so indulging in some the activities which are not recommended by the scripture and prohibited, of course, prohibited by the scriptures, and therefore we call them generally shastras, as you know, starting from the four scriptures, the 6 limbs, Vedangani, then we have what we call Chaturdasha Vidyasthanam, so 14 Vidyas, the Grihya Sutras, the Dharma Shastra, otherwise called the Smriti, and of course Ramayana, Mahabharata, namely the 2 Itihasas, and perhaps add finally Nalayana Divya Prabandham, 4000 Tamil Divya Prabandhams also. They are all the sweet utterings by the Bhagavad Anshas of the Lord, namely the 12 apostles. They are called the apostles of Sri Vaishnavism, you can say. So all this recommend generally, of course, 3 ways, first 3 ways, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. And since all these are all may be difficult, the Vaishnava Sampradaya especially suggests Prapatti as the first and last resort. And after doing this Prapatti, the Prapatti is done in various ways by service to Lord. And the Prapatti, the end result itself is service to the Lord, Kainkaryam, as we call it. It is not the reaching of the destination, namely Vaikuntham and so on. So here we have what we call Prayaschitta Prapatti, along with the repetition of how the Lord makes us do good things, good deeds, and makes us avoid bad deeds. We already saw in the earlier verse, Kurumam Nitya Kinkaram, make me the eternal servant. And the 8th verse, just for your reference, we have Pracheshatve Stiradhiyam Tatpraptyeka Prayojanam Nishiddha Kamya Rahitam Kurumam Nitya Kinkaram. And then, of course, Nityam Niraparadheshu Kainkaryeshu Niyamshvamam. Lastly, Tadeka Rakshasya Mama Tameva Karunakara Na Pravartaya Papani Pravrittani Nivartaya. So with this background in mind, so we go to the 9th shloka or stanza or verse. All the 10 verses of Nyasa Dashakam can be called a shloka. A shloka is one of the 256 varieties of a chandas called Anushtup. And then Anushtup has got 8 syllables per quarter, so 32 in total. And then there is a set pattern, definite pattern in the shloka, namely the fifth letter, fifth syllable must be light, laghu. Then sixth syllable should be heavy, and seventh syllable should be heavy in odd quarters and light in even quarters. Just to tell you the Sanskrit definition of a shloka, Panchamam Laghu Sarvatra. This is what is said by Kedara Bhatta in his Vrtaratnakara, the compendium of the rhymes, the meters in Sanskrit. It contains both Akshara Vrittam and Matra Vrittam, or Akshara Chandas and Matra Chandas, based upon the number of syllables and then the duration of time taken by this short syllable as 1 second and heavy syllable, light syllable as 1 second and heavy syllable as 2 seconds. We have got a lot of meters under the Matra Chandas. Matra is denoting just a single second, the duration of time taken to pronounce a syllable, the right syllable. So Panchamam Laghu Sarvatra, Saptamam Dvi Chaturthayoho. So the seventh one will be light in the even quarters, Dvi Chaturthayoho, the second and fourth. And Shashtancha Guru Gneyam, the sixth syllable always will be heavy in all the quarters. Etati Shlokasya Lakshanam. This is the definition of a shloka. Just for the kind information of all the participants here, we may not call any verse in any stotram or any book as shloka because they may not conform to this definition and they may not even have the exactly 8 syllables per quarter. Therefore, we cannot call anything, any verse in Sanskrit as shloka. But generally, it is mistaken that stotra will be a shloka. For example, Mahabharata, the Ramayana, the 2 itihasas, as well as the lot of Puranas, the 18 major Puranas and 18 minor Puranas. You can include Mahabharatam also, under Puranas, and Bhagavatam also. Almost all these, 99% have what we call the shloka. That is why we are led to believe that everything is a shloka. No. So one who knows what is the definition of shloka, then they will say padyam, poetry, poem, padya kavyam, they will say. Here in Nyasa Dashaka, there are 10 shlokas. You can also say generally 10 padyas, P-A-D-Y-A, padyam, otherwise called verse or stanza. Here we go to the 9th verse. It again says, Akrityanam cha karanam, Krityanam varjanam cha me, Shamasya nikhilam deva, Pranataptihara, Prabho. I think I have made a mistake in not asking you to repeat all these 10 verses, rather one by one. Every day I must have asked you to repeat. Of course, though one may not be immediately familiar with all these words, it is only in, you can also read it in English as it is down. So, Akrityanam chakaranam, Krityanam varjanam chami. Of course, in one voice, all of us are supposed to say. Otherwise, if it takes a lot of time to repeat one by one. So here, as we already said, Nityam Niraparada Kainkaryeshu Niyimshramam. So already we have requested, we have appealed to the Lord that He must engage in us in only doing good deeds without fault. And again, last verse also says, therefore, now it's again a repetition, but reminding the Lord and reminding ourselves, that is more important than reminding the Lord. In spite of my surrender, total surrender done, in spite of my attitude, right attitude towards the surrender, in following the steps one by one, namely, Akinchanyam, I feel helpless. Then Pratikulya Varjanam, I avoid the don'ts. Then Anukulya Sankalpaha, I decide to do what is in scripture as injunction. And then Goptrutva Varanam, I choose a protector. And Rakshishyati iti Mahavishwasaha, I believe him 100%. I have complete faith in the Lord. And finally, Prapatti. Even when I am going through these steps very sincerely and sticking to them strictly, still I have some aberrations. I do something which is not expected of me to do. Akrityanam cha karanam. So I do some misdeeds. Karanam, the performance of akrityanam. So I do good deeds, no doubt, but I also add bad deeds. Akrityanam cha karanam. The cha, the single cha meaning and, also refers to the other side also. I am doing some positive actions as enjoined by the scriptures, but still I have some inclination towards doing bad deeds. So akrityam is what is not to be done. So akrityanam cha karanam. Then krityanam varjanam me. It is mine. Mine, you can say. So varjanam, avoiding. Varjanam is avoiding. So krityanam. So in fact, I told you just now, I've been doing krityanam. I've been krityanam karanam aham karomi. I am still doing good deeds. What is ordered by the scriptures. But sometimes I avoid good deeds and only do bad deeds. Or sometimes I do bad deeds and most of the time I do good deeds. So Krityanam Varjananchami. Even a little deviation from the rules of scriptures, I want to avoid. Avoid those deviations. So Krityanam Varjanam. Varjanam is completely avoiding, deleting. Krityanam Varjanam. Then may. Then therefore, now I want to do Prayaschitta Prapatti. Kshamasva. Please excuse. Please pardon me. Forgive me. Don't mind my faults. Nikhilam. So all the bad deeds, that is avoiding the good deeds also. Avoidance of good deeds as well as performance of bad deeds. So Nikhilam Sarvam, all. Now we have three words calling him, addressing him. O Lord, Deva. O Lord, God of God, Deva Deva. Then Pranatarti Hara. Pranatarti Hara is a special name to Varadaraja, Lord Varadaraja in the temple of Kanchipuram. And it's a very beautiful meaning with regard to Pranatarti Hara. Then Prabho again, O Master. So these three words are in Sambodhana Prathama Vibhakti, called in Sanskrit, vocative case in English, and Vili Vetramai in Tamil. So this is we don't say eighth case as we say in Tamil. So Ezham Vetramai, we don't say Ettam Vetramai. This is not eighth case, but it is what we call vocative case. In Sanskrit, it's called Sambodhana Prathama Vibhakti. It's almost the same as Prathama Vibhakti, except in one or two words. The Visarga may not be there. For example, Devaha, Devo, Devaha. Then He Deva, if it is singular, Ekavachanam. Then the rest of the two words are same, with the same spelling. So that is why they are called Sambodhana Prathama. Prathama Vibhakti is nominative case and Sambodhana Prathama is the vocative case. Addressing him, calling him. So when you call him, he answers our appeal. So Deva Pranatartihara. Pranatartihara has to be split like this. First Nata, then Pranata, then Arti, then Hara. So Pranata meaning a Prapanna, a person who has surrendered. The literal meaning of Nata is bent, B-E-N-T. That means the head comes to a low position to fall at the feet of the Lord, divine feet of the Lord. Nata. Pranata shows that it is Sashtanga Namaskara or Panchanga Namaskara for the Andal Goshti we say, Goda Goshti, namely the ladies. So Pranata is the Prapanna, surrenderies, those are surrendered. Then Arti means the difficulty or the vicissitudes of life. Dukkham we say in Sanskrit, Tunbam we say in Tamil. Either it can be physical trouble or mental trouble or mental agony. Generally, of course, Arti is mental agony than the physical trouble. So Pranatarti, the mental trouble of the people who have surrendered, and then Hara, one who takes away. The Prathama Bhakti, the nominative case is Haraha. Then when you make it add with the He, so the He is not necessary for an advanced reading. So you can leave out He. You can understand it is Pranatarti Hara. This is without Visarga, without the colon, the two dots at the end. It becomes addressing him. So one who removes, you can say, one who removes the trouble of the people who have surrendered. The prapannas, as we call it in English, added to in English dictionary. So Deva Pranatarti Hara Prabhu. These three, it's what we call fervent appeal. That's the meaning of 3 times calling him in single verse. Already we had the word Sriman, Swamin, and so on. But whereas here it is Deva Pranatarti Hara Prabhu. And especially in 2 places like Kanchipuram and Thiruvahindrapuram, he is called Devanayaka or Devanayakam as in Tamil. Devanayaka, Devadideva, and Devadhiraja. These are all some certain words which have which are, you can call them synonyms. It means God of gods. And Pranatarti Hara is a special name. And it also denotes Lord Shiva also. It is the name of Lord Shiva in the temple at Panchanada Kshetram, Thiruvayaru, where Tyagaraja Bhagavata had his last days. His name is also Pranatarti Hara. So here, Pranatarti Hara refers to Lord Sriman Narayana, and then Prabhu, you can say Bhartaha, you can also say, or He Pate. So many words are there for master, and so he is our master, and he can do whatever he likes, and he can satisfy our desire of avoiding the bad deeds and doing the good deeds. So let him pardon us, excuse us for the bad deeds done even after prapatti, even the inclination. remove the inclination, remove the desire for doing bad deeds, and remove the desire for non-performance of good deeds. So that comes to the total meaning of the Chamasva. That is very important. Again, Chamasva is singular, and we take liberty in requesting the Lord to be very close to Him and ask Him in Ekavachanam, in singular number, that He must excuse us. And Swami Vedanta Deshika has a very nice disposition when he blessed us with Vega Setu Stotram again in 10 verses. They are not 10 shlokas, but different meters there in just 10 stanzas. And finally, he says the Phalashruti of that 10 verse Stotram as Vega Setu Stotram. Vega Setu Stotram is a stotram meant for the Lord, who is called Yathoktakari in Sanskrit, or in Tamil, Sonnavannam Seida Perumal in one of the temples of Kanchipuram. And for the sake of Lord Brahma, because Lord Brahma requested, Varadaraja appeared in the Yaga, in the what you call sacrifice performed by Brahma, the creator, in Kanchipuram. And there is a story behind. And finally, the Phalashruti, the what you call the advantage of reciting the Stotra, he says, Lord Narayana should obey our command instead of the Bhakta, the devotee, the Prapanna, obeying his command. Generally, there are only his commands. Only the master orders the servant, whereas the servant now orders the devotee. Orders the Lord, and says, Chamasva. You must excuse. I told you the 6 meanings of Lot Lakara, what you call imperative mood in Sanskrit verbs. And it also means request, it also means order, it is also optional, and then it is also compulsory. It's called imperative. The Lord has the duty to protect us, the duty to obey us, and therefore the duty to excuse us, and so on. And of course, there was a discussion, a lot of discussion, what will happen if we perform bad deeds, even after prapatti. We always request the Lord to give us the mind not to do the bad deeds and only to do the good deeds. So over to the participants, starting with the Keshav Das.
So, Swami, you requested that I find the 9 relationships between the Jivatman and Paramatman. And would you like me to share that on the screen?
Right. Sure. Welcome.
Oops.
Okay.
So, can you see that? So we start out with...
the first one is Pitru Putra Sambandha.
Yes.
Tvameva Matacha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha Gurus Tvameva. Swami Ramanujacharya says in his Sharanagati Gadya as that way. Though we say little different, only one word is different. Tvameva Matacha Pita Tvameva, Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva. Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva, Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. So he is the father, he is the mother, he is the relative, he is the friend, or he is a preceptor, teacher, guru. And then, of course, as we have Dravinam, the wealth, all kinds of wealth. Then the knowledge, the Brahmajnanam, Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva. Tvameva Sarvam. So he is called the Sarva Bandhu and Sarvatha Bandhu. This is what we are now attempting to know. Number one, Pitru Putra Sambandha, the relationship between the father and the son. Today, the children must be obeyed by the parents. That is different. But generally, an elderly person should be obeyed. That is a normal rule. So here, it's what we call inseparable relationship as a father and a son. It is there as rose and its perfume. The analogy is given as the flower and its aroma, the smell and the flower. And we call it substantive. So you cannot separate fragrance from the flower. It means we are all dependent on him. So even to give us the mind of doing good deeds and avoiding the bad deeds, we have to depend on him. And again in Sattvika Tyaga, it is sometimes misunderstood as he is the one, Lord is the one who makes us do bad deeds. No. That is where we discussed earlier that we have only discrimination power and then we can't blame the Lord. So second one, Rakshaka Rakshya Sambandha. We had it in the Swami Deshika's Nyasa Dashakam. Todeka Rakshasya Mama Twameva Karunakara. Only in the 8th verse, the last verse. The 8th verse. Todeka Rakshasya. So I am being protected. The one who is to be protected. And Rakshakaha, the savior and the saved. So Rakshakaha is the savior, Rakshya is the saved. So the essential nature as it is explained there, omnipotence, namely Sarva Shaktiman, then complete independence, Swatantraha, then activity whereas the nature of the one saved is dependence, Aswatantraha, you can also say Paratantra. We are all Paratantras, we depend on Lord completely. We have vulnerability and passivity also. The relationship gets cancelled if the jiva tries to assume personal responsibility for its liberation from samsara and acts independently of the Lord. This is what we have with the first line of the Nyasa Dashakam said, Aham Madrakshana Bharo, Madrakshana Phalam. I thought I am protecting myself and I will get the fruit of my own protection. Then we have we change our attitude to Rakshaka Rakshya Bhava. Then third relationship is Shesha Sheshi Sambandha. It is given as between the principle and the subsidiary. With regard to say mathematics, comparing to mathematics, it is the theorem and the rider. So the theorem is Lord and the rider is the Prapanna. And we have Jiva belongs to God. And the Shesha is, I think this time the word has changed from the order of the first two relationships. The first it said the Rakshaka Rakshya, then Pitru Putra, whereas now the word has been changed as Shesha and Sheshi. It should have been Sheshi and Shesha. Because Sheshi is the Lord and Shesha is Prapanna. I think that is why when you read the Sanskrit word, you must be careful in the position. As it is in the first two sets, it is the first word that denotes Lord. Now here second word denotes Lord. Pitru, Pita is Lord and Rakshakaha in the second one is Lord. Whereas Shesha is Prapanna in the third relationship. And Sheshi is not generally, it is not a short one, Sheshi, it is Sheshi. Actually, if you call it in Sanskrit, Nakaranta Pullinga Shabda, the word ends in N. N for nature. And then it is a long vowel at the end. In the Prathama Vibhakti, what we call nominative case, in singular, ekavacham. Therefore, some Sheshi. The meaning, we are only the part of the whole and he is the entirety. That is the meaning of that. So here, the duty and function of the Lord is to care for the jiva, and a jivatma cannot exist apart from and become independent of the Lord. And again, with regard to this, the jivatma has got antaryami, the Paramatma, the Supreme Soul, and the whole universe, all the entire creation is called the body of Lord. The Lord is inside everything, and therefore, of course, the whole universe is called the body of Lord. Therefore, he is called the Sheshi, and Sheshi can exist without Shesha. But Alvar says that without you, I am not here. Without me, you are not there. Ni indri, non ilai. Non indri, ni ilai, Alvar said. Without the Prapanna, you have no use. The Lord has to have a Prapanna. And if the Lord is there, there must be a Prapanna. And also in Kamasika Ashtakam, a stotra again of 10 verses, a short poem, he says, Tvai rakshati kim rakshakaihi anyaihi. Tvai cha arakshati rakshakaihi kim anyaihi. If you are protecting me, there is no use for other protectors. Nobody else need to protect me. Whereas if you are not protecting me, if you have given up me, given me up, you have left me in the lurch, there is no other person to protect me. No one else to protect me. So I have only one refuge, and that is you. That is the Sheshi Shesha Bhava. And then we have Bhartru Bharya. In Vaishnava Sampradaya, this is very unique. All the living beings, irrespective of the gender, male or female. So we have the role of female only. It's a subservient role. So we are like the wives of the Lord, and he is the husband. So Bhartru, here it is okay. The first word refers to the Lord, and second word refers to the Jivatma. Bhartru is Paramatma, and Bharya is the Jivatma. And then the supporter and the supported. It should be, of course, we are the chaste couple, and we don't have a reference to third party, it says. The bond between the two is irrevocable and permanent. Again, a bond of exclusive mutual dependence on purpose. That's what I just quoted Alvar saying. Without the Prapanna, there is no Lord. Without the Lord, there is no Prapanna. The fifth one, Nyatru and Nyeya. So Nyatru, the knower, the Nyeya, that which is to be known. The knower and the knowledge. The essential nature of the Jiva, the Jivatma itself, is consciousness. Beautifully referred to by Govindacharya earlier, Swami. Our consciousness. Again, we are referring to every time while we read the verse of Nyasa Dashaka, our consciousness in doing things. Also, you can say, add a conscience of doing things. So, we have discrimination power. We must do good deeds. And the conscience, if we do bad deeds, should prick us in the mind, prick our heart. Then we are warned by the mind not to go astray. That is what we call consciousness and our conscience, the morality with which we perform deeds. That is in strict obedience to the scriptures. And therefore, this is the Nyatra Nyeya relationship. And Supreme Being is all with all its Kalyana, Ananta Kalyana Gunas, attributes. It has a personal constitutional state. And whereas we are dependent on God and we are totally called slaves. Then next one is Swa and Swami. Now again the words are transposed. So Swami must be there in the first place and Swam is there in the second place. Swami, Swam. In Sanskrit it should be added with the M, Swam. Swam is property, Swami is the owner. Swami is the owner of the property. We are all the Swam of the Lord. The Lord is the Swami. The Swami means he has a commanding position, whereas we are in the obeying position. So it's what we call a dynamic master and what we call a dynamic servant also. We have to obey him. So the expectations of rewards for one's actions will be his lookout, not even ours. So he says we must not consider ourselves as the doer of action, karta, and reaper of reward. That's what the first line again says. Madrakshana phalam. So Madrakshana phalam does not belong to us. Even the phalam is with regard to the God, the Lord. Again here, when we say Madrakshana phalam, we are not to be worried over the advantage of making a surrender, total surrender. And the Sattvika Tyaga tells you that the phalam also goes to him. The result also goes to him. And here we have, remember the relationship, the Lord's attitude, upaya and upeya. He is the means and he is the destination. He is the final goal and he is also the way, the path with which we go. The road to lead to destination. And he is also the destination. Then we have the 7 Sharira, Shariri. Again the word Shariri must be there. Or you must change all the 9 relationships as first Jivatma word for Jivatma, and the second will be Paramatma's word. So Shariri is the word for Paramatma. Shariram is for the individual soul. I told you the whole world creation is the Sharira of the Lord, the body of the Lord. Shariri, what we call the individual inner soul, which is also occupied by the Supreme Soul. Tamil, the English we call it life also. Uyir we say in Tamil. Uyir. Jivatma is Uyir. Uyir, udal illama Uyir illai. There is no life without body. There is no body without life. If you say alive, a person is alive, the life must be there and the body also must be there. That is why on the road to salvation, we say from Sthula Sharira, a gross body, we take what we call subtle body, Sukshma Sharira. From Sthula Sharira to Sukshma Sharira. He is the Supreme Self and we are the. So already we said the property and property owner. Then we have 8th relationship as Adheya and Adhara. Again, so either you convert from, as I told you earlier, keep the same type of combination. So Adheya is the, now of course Adheya is Jivatma and Adhara is Paramatma. So Adhara is the supporter, the fulcrum is it. Then supported, Adheya is supported. Adheya is who is to be supported. There is what we call Sheshatvam as it is given their belonging. Already we discussed about Sheshi and Shesha. Again, Adharatva and Adeyatva. Adeyatvam, the quality of being a servant, and Adharatvam is quality of being a source. A subject to control is Adheya. Controller is Adhar. So here, because the word position is okay, because the first word refers to Paramatma, the second word refers to Jiva. Finally, the ninth one, Bhoktru and Bhogyam. So these are the two words. Again, Bhoktru refers to the Supreme Soul, and Bhogyam refers to the enjoyable or enjoyability of the individual soul. So Bhoktru, Bhokta is enjoyer and the enjoyed. So Bhokta, Bhokya. Now somebody referred to yesterday in our, I think a question was here, whether he takes pleasure in seeing us doing bad deeds. Is it also included under the Leela? The Leela, this is Leela Vibhuti, where the world in which we live here. And Nitya Vibhuti is Vaikuntham. Nitya Vibhuti is, as it is said in Shastra, 9 times greater in size than the Leela Vibhuti. Leela Vibhuti contains 14 worlds, including the planets and so on. So the Vaikuntham is called Nitya Vibhuti, and Vibhuti means prosperity. Vibhuti doesn't mean the ash or the mark on the forehead which the Advaitins wear. Not that way. So Vibhuti itself means prosperity. Vibhuti is great prosperity, all kinds of riches. So Nitya Vibhuti is permanent one, eternal prosperity for the Lord. And Leela Vibhuti is this creation is for his game, sport. But do we accept the suggestion that he will be happy if we do bad deeds? No. Generally, he gets angry when we do bad deeds. And he becomes happy when we do good deeds. We have the word in the first verse, Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam. His face shows happiness. Prasannavadanam Jayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye. This is what we say every time when we start any function. We never miss this. This is the first verse which we say. In any sankalpa, in any ritual, we always say this. We never, of course, this is also attributed to Lord Ganesha, Vinayaka also by the Advaitins, and they have different meanings. So here Vishnum is very clear. Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum. Of course, you will say Pitambaradharam Vishnu should be there. Does he wear the white dress or the yellow dress? So yellow dress is a special dress, whereas white also is included. Here, so Bhoktru Bhogya is the 9th relationship, and we must thank Keshavdas Swami to have given the right explanation passage. You have the complete description, and if anything to be added by you on the meaning of these 9 relationships, you are welcome.
No, I don't have anything to add on the meaning of the relationships, but you mentioned that the Nitya Vibhuti is 9 times the size of Leela Vibhuti. You were saying 9 times, but normally, 9 times, yeah. But normally, what I've heard is that this is called Ekpad Vibhuti, and that is called Tripad Vibhuti. So it seems to be 3 times.
Yeah, that is the Tripad Vibhuti is there. Of course, the name is there, the nomenclature is there. But I have heard so from elders that the pramana must be searched for.
Yeah. Anyway, it is also said that this is unlimited. That is also unlimited. That is a greater unlimited than this unlimited. So there are different in mathematics. There are different levels of infinity. There might be one infinity which is greater than another infinity in mathematics. So I can understand that, but at the same time, if you have a pramana for 9 times, because what I normally have heard is 3 times, but of course it's only an approximation because it's all infinity. So that's really all I had to say. If others want to make a comment,
of course, I think though you have shown the relationship, and already many of us may know. I think it took some time to go through all this very slowly, because we have to remember all these things when we address him, call him, and make a total surrender. These are all required.
Yes. So if anybody else has a question or comment, you can just unmute and turn your video on if you like.
Without turning the video on also, you can ask if you have a problem.
Swami, I just wanted to ask with respect to Shesha and Sheshi. Is in Sri Vaishnavism, do we ever see God as formless as Brahman? Do we ever? I understand that God is person. He is Narayana. He has a form, and we the jivas and the prakriti is part of that form, and he is the supreme soul of that form. Do we ever see the formless Brahman as that God is also formless, like how the Advaitas see God as formless?
Okay, so the formlessness is attributed to him by the Advaitins. And taking, for example, the Sahasranama sentence, Anuhu, Brihat, Krishaha, Thulaha, Gunabhran, Nirguno Mahan. The last 2 qualities, Gunabhran, Nirguno Mahan. Gunabhran, meaning he is full of limitless, auspicious characteristics. That is Gunabhran. Then Gunabhrit. The last word is Nirgunaha. So this interpretation of this word Nirguna differs from the Advaita Sampradaya, from Vishishta Advaita Sampradaya. The Advaita Sampradaya says he has no characteristics, he has no qualities. That meaning he has he is formless, shapeless, colorless, say odorless, and so on. Everything is absent. He is a shunya. Because some of the vakyas we take, for example, I forget. So I'll tell you the Tattvamasi. When you have the word Tattvamasi, Tat Tvamasi, thou art thou. Sorry, Tat is that, art thou. You are him. Then they call the whole world, the world of creation as Mithya, Jagan Mithya. Only one is real, and they give a definition of the real as eternal permanence. At some time, it should not be non-existent. And therefore, and again, these words will support them. They give a lot of interpretations under Sri Bhashya, or what we call Shankaracharya Bhashya of the Brahma Sutras of Vyasa. They say a lot of arguments against Saguna Brahma. We always support Saguna Brahman. We say that the world is real. All the characteristics are auspicious and so on. We cannot imagine a God, a Lord without quality, without shape, without color and form. We have what we call Vigraha, the figure with all kinds of auspiciousness. So we cannot say formlessness is accepted in Vaishnava Sampradaya.
Because even the idea of form, even the idea of Brahman, all of creation, that Prakriti, that's all Brahman. That it doesn't take a form of a personality, but the creation itself, it's still him. It's part of him. It's part of his body, and they call that Brahman, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. And from the verse that you read, it seems clear from what Vedanta Deshika says that prapatti is guaranteed, that one will achieve moksha. You agree?
Yeah. Prapatti, as I told you, define moksha as the eternal service to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a question of shift of the individual soul from this world to the other world, namely Sri Vaikuntha and so on.
Okay. Thank you.
So, நீங்க ஏதாவது கேட்கணும் சொல்லலைன்னா கேளுங்க. முதல்ல புரிஞ்சுதான் சொல்லுங்க. Have you understood the?
புரிஞ்சது மாமா, புரிஞ்சது. And I like the way you explained பிரணதார்த்திஹரா ரொம்ப நல்லா பண்ணேன். நம்ம தினம் சேவிக்கிறோம், பட் ஒன்னும் புரியாத சேவிச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். But the explanation breakdown of that word பிரணதார்த்திஹரா is so very nice. And like a word by word breakdown is very nice.
I'll also tell you, by the way, this word is very difficult to pronounce also.
Yeah.
At the same time, we have the names of girl children, female children as Arti. So you must be very careful in giving the spelling either in English or Tamil or Sanskrit. In Tamil there is nothing, there is no difference. But whereas English and Sanskrit, you must be very careful. You cannot say A-A-R-T-I. If it is A-A-R-T-I, it means trouble.
Correct.
If it is A-A-R-T-H-I, not only that, A-A-R-T-H-I and another I, double I, the long vowel at the end. And a long vowel denotes feminine gender. Of course, the single short vowel is not enough there.
Okay.
And so therefore, you must be very careful in Sanskrit as well as English. You have to write the spelling A and what we call the repa. We don't say rakara. So the repa, and then the second hard consonant, like namely tha, T-H-A. You cannot write A-R-T-I. Of course, one can name the child as Harati. Hara is in necklace, or especially pearl necklace. When you say Karpura Harati, the round of the lamp given in the Aradhanam, we call it Nirajanam in Sanskrit. Nirajanam is making a circle with the lamp, and we have the mantras for it. And then that is Harati. Hara is like the circular necklace. Hara is especially pearl necklace. But whereas Arti is to be very used carefully. It will be used very carefully.
Okay. Pranatati-hara. T-A-T-I-H-A. Pranatati-hara. Correct.
T-I. Arti is A-R-T-I. That means trouble.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, got it. Okay. Pranatati Hara. P-A-T-A-H-A-R-A.
I have my friend and then with that name. And then whenever all the whole group of friends call him, we conveniently call him as Hara.
Yeah.
And when they call him Hara, I told them, Hara means thief. So don't call him Haran.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Hari also means thief. He's a thief. According to even Alvar, he didn't say, Vennai Thiridiya Kannan, Vennai Unda Vayam.
Yeah.
Thirupanalvar says, Vennai Unda Vayam.
Yeah.
He did not steal butter from the other houses or even his own house. But here, what I wanted to say is, Harihi, Hara. He steals the sins from us. That's what it is.
I see. Okay, very good. I see.
Akrityanam chakaranam, Krityanam varjanam chame kshamasva, while excusing us for not doing good deeds and only doing bad deeds, he steals our sins, even after prapatti.
Oh,
That is why he is called Harihi. In Sanskrit, Harihi has got 22 meanings.
I see.
Number 1 is Lord. Number 2 is Indra, next to him. 3 is horse, elephant, lion, and so on and so on and so on. If you look at the Govindaraja Vyakhyanam, the commentary of Govindaraja in Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, you will find all the 22 meanings of the word Hari.
Okay.
The beauty of Sanskrit is a word has got a lot of meaning, and for a single meaning there are a lot of words.
It's very difficult.
Dictionary of synonyms. We have the first dictionary of synonyms in Sanskrit. Then only came other languages. Thank you for
Thank you.
adding.
I just love that word. Pranatati Hara is so beautiful. When we say the prayers, we just do it without meaning. Now I know how to what it means. Very beautiful.
Okay then. So sorry for delaying today. And actually we have been expecting to perform what we call Panchanga Pathanam today because of the New Year day. And we all wish each other a very happy New Year as well as very happy years ahead, because we have been undergoing some trouble, the universal trouble now.
I can't take that call right now.
So Panchanga Pathanam, I would rather suggest to you that each day in the morning we are to know the 5 limbs of our calendar. Generally, some aspects of the 5 are known to you already. Day, what is that day? Today is Tuesday or Wednesday or day, and the weekdays are the weekend days. Because we remember the holidays. The first day, the war. We actually, English word is date for Tithi, but we have a lunar calendar, and therefore 1 to 14. The 15th day is either new moon day Amavasya or the full moon day Paurnami. We call it Paurnamavasya. So Prathama Tithi first day, Chaturdashi 14th day, and then 15th is either Amavasya, new moon day, or Paurnamavasya, the full moon day. Now this is Tithi, the third aspect. Fourth one is Karanam. It is there mentioned there are 27 Karanams. And lastly you have Yoga. There are only few yogas like Amrita Yoga, Siddha Yoga, then negative Marana Yoga, and so on. By knowing all these 5 every day in the morning, we are supposed to have good day ahead. We have the belief that a good day ahead will be there. We won't confront troubles. So this Panchanga Patana is very important. And again, today being the New Year day, we read the entire Panchanga Patanam, and then understand to know there are so many threats also. We have, I think, you know, the statement, SWOT statement: strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So this SWOT statement is there in the Panchangam. Most of them are threatening. So don't believe the negative things. Be dependent on God, and so that we always expect something good to happen every time. And then you have to, according to your own birth star and according to your own zodiac, what we call, say, Rashi in Sanskrit and Tamil. So you have some, what we call, the income and the expenditure. We have got Kandaya Phalam. Kandaya Phalam is divided into 3 quarters of a year. Year is divided into 3 quarters. 4 months each. 4 months each. So each of the 4 months will have a number. If it is odd, you are to have happiness. If it is even, it is both the pleasure and the pain. And if it is 0, it's something negative. So these are all certain aspects. So we have to believe what it is said. And the beauty of Panchangam is an Indian calendar can predict an eclipse a year ahead, even years ahead. Whereas the most scientific, latest scientific advancement cannot recognize even just 1 month earlier of the eclipse, either lunar or solar. And again, this year it falls on Sunday in India. Maybe I don't know. It should be, I think, Monday, Sunday morning. So it should be Saturday evening for other countries, like USA. And it is what we call Parshva Chudamani Grahanam. Parshva Chudamani Surya Grahanam. And it shows that you can see a ring with a small stone as we wear in our fingers. That is a very special one. And the Chudamani is what we call the stone in a ring form. Stone embedded in a ring form. The outer ring is seen, and it is very rare. It is Surya Grahanam again. So it is not, you are not supposed to view with the naked eye. It is again partial. Why we give a stress upon the occurring of the Grahanam, the eclipse during the year? Of course, we have the concentration to do japam, meditate on Lord, repeat the names, and do puja, Thiruvaradhanam, tarpanam for the ancestors, and so on. It is a belief that it multiplies into crore times. And if you do that, I have seen myself by personal experience, whatever word that comes out of your mouth becomes true if you do sincerely. And then if you bless someone to be very happy, it happens. And if you do something, if you give bad words also, it happens. I used to say to the students that if you utter some bad words during this eclipse, it also multiplies into crore times, and you commit easily many sins. 26th, 26th of June.
Oh, 26th of June.
It's a Sunday in India.
So,
Sunday.
Swami, you mentioned that you do Tiru Aradhanam during an eclipse.
Pardon?
You mentioned that you do Tiru Aradhanam during the eclipse.
Yeah.
Isn't it that we're not supposed to do any puja during the eclipse because we become ashaucham?
You mean ashaucham? Are we impure?
Yes, during the eclipse, isn't it that the
No, that is why we take bath earlier and then we take bath at the end of the eclipse.
but to actually do puja, to actually do aradhanam during the eclipse time?
Before the beginning of the eclipse, we take bath, we make ourselves pure in the body, wearing a dress which is what we call in Tamil muddy, that means drying your clothes the earlier night and keeping them away from other clothes. That is what we just for purity. We don't touch anything else. So again, after the puja, it is not simply Nama Sankirtanam. Nama Sankirtanam itself is a puja.
Right.
But you can literally do Tiruvaradhanam. In the case of temples, the Lord is anointed as usual during the eclipse. Of course, they close the door for the devotees. That is different. But generally, we can also witness the Tirumanjanam, the Abhishekam of the Lord. And here also we will do at home Tiruvaradhanam. It is highly beneficial.
Wow, that is really news to me.
Right.
That is before the eclipse starts, Ilya ma'am. That is before.
Before the eclipse, you take bath.
And even during the eclipse, you can do the Aradhanam.
Yeah, during the eclipse, you have to say all the names of God. Rama, Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, and so on. The Vishnu Sahasranama Stotram, all Deshika Stotras, all whatever favorite God you have, you can say all the Stotras.
Okay.
And the Mukundamala, especially, as we always like it. It's a simple Sanskrit with beautiful meanings. Srinatha Narayana Vasudeva, Sri Krishna Bhakta Priya Chakrapani, Sri Padma Nabhachyuta Kaitabhare, Sri Rama Padmaksha Hare Murare, Ananta Vaikuntha Mukunda Krishna, Govindam Damodara Madhaveti. So they give a list of names. He is also very sad. Kulasekara is very sad on saying, when we have a good mouth to say and we have the power to speak, we are wasting our time without saying the God's name. We are worried about so many things, other things. We don't say the names of the God. Madhaveti Navakti Kaschit. No one says it. Aho Jananam Vyasanabhimukhyan. Worry becomes the most important thing in our life, and we forget the names of the God. Very beautifully.
Okay, so you're saying actually we just do Nama Sankirtanam.
Yeah.
We don't actually do the actual Bhagavad Aradhanam with puja.
Right.
We just do Nama Sankirtanam.
Right now.
Acha.
Again, I was telling earlier, Keshavdas Swamiji, when he was pointing out to do how many times we must perform Achamanam in Sandhya Vandanam and so on. The more you do Achamanam, and the more you say Nama Sankirtan. 15 names you say every Achamanam. Starting with Achyutaya Namaha, Anantaya Namaha, Govindaya Namaha. Then 12 names. So 12 plus 3, 15. Starting from Keshava to Damodar. Every Achamanam, for everything we say Achamanam. Achamanam makes us pure. The purification rite is Achamanam. Start with Achamanam, end with Achamanam. Ladies have the right to do Achamanam.
And earlier you mentioned this Panchanga Patanam.
Yeah.
You're saying that if one simply every day looks at the Panch Angas, the five limbs of the day, that just by knowing the five limbs of the day, Tithi, Vara, Nakshatra, etc., Karana,
Yoga and Karana.
If you just know this, then the day will also be good.
Yeah.
Is that correct? That is what you said? If you just simply know what it is?
You have understood right.
Okay. But one question for Prapannas, how important is astrology, would you say, for Prapannas? Like
Prapanna, as you said, depends on completely on God, and he doesn't worry about all these things. But this is a general practice, even for a Prapanna. Even for a Prapanna, he expects the day to be good.
Right. So, like if a Prapanna wants to do some activity, he would look for Muhurtam. So, if he wants to do Archa Pratishta, or he wants to do Vivaha, he will do Muhurtam, even though he's depending fully on God.
Right. And there, what we call Panchavimshati Shuddham, they must see if the total number should be 25, that should be very clear while fixing a muhurtam for a marriage, taking into account the number of the tithi, and the number of the day, number of the nakshatram, the star, and so on. But here, as you said, the Tuesdays and Saturdays are not chosen for marriage, but there is no restriction on choosing a Ashtami Navami Tithi for marriage. Ashtami Navami is not advised for journey, making a journey. Though Lord Krishna said, I am born in Ashtami, therefore don't think that Ashtami is something inauspicious. And Rama incarnated on Navami, and therefore because they wanted to detach the taboo associated with the star, these two tithis, they were born, we can say, or they incarnated in Ashtami and Navami, namely Lord Krishna and Lord Rama. But again, we have some practice. When I say, why do you avoid certain stars, why do you avoid certain tithi for some actions mentioned in the Panchanga calendar, I always say, make a plan in advance. If the plan doesn't work all right, then it depends on God. Try to find a good day, auspicious day.
Yes.
And another person in an Advaitin, a devotee of Shiva, said, when you worship Shiva, there is no necessity of looking into the day, Panchangam of the day, and nor the Graha, the planet. Don't look at the position of the planet of that day. For example, there is one more aspect to what we call Chandrashtamam. Chandrashtamam is supposed to be inauspicious for a particular star on a particular day. Again, some people ask for make fun of us, saying if there is an inauspicious aspect of a day, will you go to work or will you remain at home? For example, Rahu Kalaha. I was asked by someone, my college starts at 8:30, and then you have to leave by 7:30. If it is a Monday, what will you do? They say, between 7:30 and 9, every Monday we have Rahu Kala. I said I will go because it's a daily routine. I need not worry about it. I should have said your answer. A Prapanna must have no worry, and then or start before 7:30. Again, my grandmother used to advise, don't start doing things when the Rahu Kala approaches. At least 15 minutes earlier you do anything. And again, later I have heard that the last 15 minutes, rather I can say 10 minutes, of the Rahu Kalam is called Amrita Vela. Amrita Vela being, it's a very beautiful, auspicious time to do anything. And I would always suggest to people, all people, suppose today is a Tuesday and what we call, though in Sanskrit and English, Hindi we say Mangalvar. Mangalam is auspicious. Sevvakiழமை, as we say in Tamil, has got a bad connotation. And therefore, I would always advise, if you have been compelled to do something on this day, start something on this day, do it between 11 and 12 in the morning. Between 11 and 12, there are two names given to this time. One is what we call Abhijit Muhurtaha, meaning highly successful time. And the second one is Ijya Vela, the time for performing Thiruvaradhanam. Ijya is the name of the time. IJYAA. Ijya is the name of the time meant for Thiruvaradhanam. It is also called Abhijit Muhurta. So if at all you want to do something for which you want to choose a day and choose a time, Muhurta. Muhurta consists of either 45 minutes of duration or 1.5 hours, double.
Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha.
कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः.